Thank you so much, Ralph, for this opportunity. It's such a big privilege to be sitting here with you. You know, I always admire you, and it's a very surreal moment to be spending this time with you. I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you, Juan Pablo. Always great being around you.
I have to tell you that after working with you, my whole career changed, and you put me in a whole different level of recognition. So I'm very grateful for the opportunity. You build such a presence in the art, in the design world, and I feel that you're always connecting people. I think that that's why your showroom is so amazing. Keeping that in mind, I would love to know what is your perspective right now and what is currently drawing you into art.
I think art is the ground zero where everything happens. I think all the ideas come from art, at least at Pucci. I don't necessarily look at design magazines or furniture magazines. I like to look at art magazines and go to art shows and get the ideas and then translate them into what we do, furniture.
And I definitely feel that that's something that I felt the first time that I came to this showroom. For me, was like going to Wonderland. I will ask you, in what ways you feel that art is influencing the world of design right now?
Yeah, for Pucci, I really think art is the thread. It's really every idea we get is from the art world, whether it's color, materials, or shapes. Obviously, we're not looking at a painting and then translating it literally. We're just getting the spirit. Something in that painting, something from art, is then easily translated to us. That's how I work with Michael Everett, my sculptor. We'll look at some fantastic paintings or from some fantastic imagery, and I'll say, let's work in this spirit.
So that definitely makes me think, and I would love to ask you, why is that you're always being connected with the art world? Is this something that comes from your family? Is this something that you feel has been growing, has been part of you your whole life? Or why is that you're always connected with the art world?
You know, it wasn't from my family. It was probably just something that was attracted to me. When I was younger, I was always attracted to the Andy Warhol interview idea, the crowd, that, what he was doing and how he was mixing art and commerce, and just the ideas of Andy Warhol's interview. And then it just seemed to get, we kept on that. We kept on it, and it kept going in different directions. And finally, it became a very original voice for us.
And that's something that impressed me the other day, because I was looking at your Instagram and I saw that you have photos with Basquiat and with Andy Warhol, and that was very impressive for me. Now, I would like to ask you, when you're connecting with an artist, do you connect with the artist or do you connect with his art? What's more important for you?
It's interesting you say that. We just had a show at the Chateau Lacoste in the south of France. And on the property, there's about 100 sculptures. One of the sculptures is a big giant vessel. Fantastic piece. It's my favorite piece. And there's Louise Bourgeois pieces. There's Tracy Emin. There's one piece is better than the next, but my favorite piece is this big vessel. And it turns out I met him. He's an Irish sculptor named Gugi. And when I met him, I said, Gugi, that vessel is speaking to me. I mean, it is just knocks my socks off. We should do something together. And he goes, yeah, I would love to show in your gallery in New York. And I said, but we shouldn't just show your paintings and your sculptures. Why don't you do a piece of furniture for me to really tie it all together? And he said, I've never done furniture before. And I said, it's okay. We could figure that part out, but there's something in you that I want to work with, because if you could create this incredible piece, and in my opinion, the most dynamic piece on the property, I want to work with you. So that's what we're in the process of doing now.
So I love what you just say, because that's definitely something that I experienced working with you. I feel that with you is not only about creating amazing and beautiful pieces, it's also about connecting with you as a person. And you have been somebody that not only has been opening really amazing and big doors, but also teach me stuff and guide me. So I appreciate that, Ralph. I think definitely I feel that connection and that human connection that I think is so important when working with somebody. Now, talking about that, we work in that project that we create a photo for the John Cogas sculpture. And I love that you challenged me working in that project, not only in a way that I knew that from the beginning I have to impress the people that will come and visit the showroom, but also I had the chance to propose new things to you, and you were very hands-off with that. You were so involved in a very subtle way in the project that we create an amazing result.
That's exactly right, Juan Pablo. when we did those John Koga sculptures, I wanted someone to come in a really fresh point of view to make these sculptures more dynamic than they already were, and they're pretty dynamic. And I wanted someone young, someone with a fresh take, someone who was fearless, and I felt it was you. And I just have once I work with someone, it's very tough to get into Pucci, but once you're in, it becomes like a family. And I really like to push my designers and artists, take it one step further, take it one step further. And I think that's what I did with you. I gave you basically carte blanche to come up with something dynamic, but choosing you to me was the most important part. Once I decided who I wanted to shoot that piece, then the rest was pretty easy. It was in your hands, but I knew I selected the right person.
And it really means a lot to me that you chose me for that project and you gave me that opportunity. You allow me to be me. That photo says a lot about my aesthetic and how I work. So I think it's been an amazing and a very interesting way to connect with your perspective and also align my perspective with your perspective. Now, I know you're very well known in the furniture and the design world, but also in the art world. And you're always discovering new talents. When you're discovering somebody new, what exactly gets your attention?
Right. That's an interesting question because I don't really look at resumes. Do I look at the backgrounds? Maybe a little bit, but I just look at the energy. I try to pick up the energy from the person, and I don't really like someone who just does furniture. If somebody came to me with this furniture catalog and had no rapport with music or had no rapport with art or had no rapport with sculpture, I would probably not use that person. I like someone who's touching on all the different arts, and there's energy there. And because I think if you're too just focused on furniture or if you're just too focused on photography, it's most likely the designer or that person is not willing to explore and to take it to another level. But if you have a little bit of interest in music and a little bit of interest in sculpture, a little bit of interest in design, and a little bit of interest in architecture, a little bit of interest in dance, put it all together. I think you have a really unique person who's going to come up with some really original ideas.
What does Miami need to you in this manner?
Well, right now, Miami is obviously on fire. It has tons of potential. A lot of people are moving here for a lot of different reasons. If Miami really has to capitalize on this, you have some great galleries and museums here. Two of our favorites, of course, are next door, Margulies and the Rebel. I think they're both, dynamic, unbelievable. I think more design firms have to come here. We put a big effort here. We bought this building a few years ago. We renovated it. We believe in Wynwood. We believe in Miami. We just think Miami has so much potential.
I love that you talk about your process in Miami because I had been part of this process here too. We document and we did a new project when you were changing into the new location. We took photos of the furniture in the middle of the construction. So that was one of the most beautiful projects for me because it also connected with my childhood. I mentioned before that my dad and my mom used to have a hardware store. So I love taking photos of the furniture in the middle of the construction. I feel and I'm very honored that I was the very first Miami artist that you represented. And I'm sure Miami has a lot of talent and new people. There are always artists that have been grateful with you for everything that you have done for them.
Yeah, I think working with artists is a big part of Pucci. I really believe in giving young artists opportunities. The problem I have with a lot of people, whether they're from the art world or from the furniture world or the fashion world or the movie world, they live in their little box and, they have to be in that world. And that's what I'm not. I'm a little bit of everything. As I said, we have to touch on all the different arts. And I think our artists are really great, but they come to me for furniture, and sometimes, they the audience doesn't always take that serious look at the photography or the art that was shown because they typically go to the art world in Chelsea and New York to buy their art, and they buy the furniture from me. But I really believe that the young talent that we're showing and the artists that we show are dynamic and they're really, really relevant, and I think they're fantastic. And I believe that young talent or the people from the art in the art space gives us an energy that is unlike any other company. So working with you and working with Marjorie Salvatera, Gail LaBeouf in New York, these are people who I think could be at any gallery, but there's written rules how to get into those galleries, and I don't go by any rules. So that's why you guys are all with me. And I think little by little, we're taking baby steps to get to where we all want to be.
What keeps you curious?
You have to be curious in life. And if you do what we do, you have to be curious. You want to see everything. You want to experience everything. You want to taste everything. You don't want to miss anything, because if you miss something, you can go into a restaurant and you pick up one little idea. You go to a movie, you pick up one idea. You can go to a museum or a gallery, you pick up one idea. You have to be curious. You have to have your eyes and ears open. If you're not curious in life, you're missing the boat.
I enjoy and I love that in a moment you were talking about different kind of artists. When I come here, I learn not only from art, but also from music, from photography, from furniture. It's like a whole new world. So I'm very happy and excited to be part of the Ralph Pucci family. Thank you for this.
Well, Juan Pablo, the best years of your life are ahead of you with your creativity, and I know we're gonna achieve greatness together.
Well, thank you, Ralph, for not only opening the doors of your showroom, allowing me this moment, and hoping we can have more experiences like this.